Hey everyone, I'm here with a quick video on R. Kelly, well, really R. Kelly's daughter. Another documentary is scheduled to come out on October the 11th, and it's going to be pretty much, it's not titled Surviving R. Kelly, but you might as well say it's Surviving R. Kelly, the family. It seems like his ex wife, Drea Kelly, is participating in it, and so is his daughter and other siblings. Well, she is saying the one daughter, I believe her name is Joanne, is pretty much saying she is pregnant now, and she says she will never bring her child to the jail to meet their grandfather because she said that he is a bad man. And she said at one time, he was her everything. But once in that millisecond, once he was charged and convicted of the crimes that he is convicted of, similar to the crimes that Diddy is currently facing, she said, she was pretty much done. I don't know, and I don't ever want to know what it is like to be the child of a R. Kelly, the child of someone who commits like a horrific crime, the child of a Sean Diddy Combs, because it's a rough road to navigate. I think life in and of itself is a lot to navigate, even in, quote unquote, a perfect scenario where, your parents may be just some uneventful people who, live their best life. It is hard for you as a child to navigate that because, you got to go through school. You may get bullied. You may not get bullied. You may have a great experience in school. You may have a bad experience. Just life is life and life be life. But imagine going through life and having to hear that your parent is accused of abusing women, children, and everything in between. And that some of these children can go down to the lowest age of just 9 years old. And right now I'm talking about Sean Combs' children. But imagine R. Kelly's children who you saw what your father was being accused of and accused and actually sentenced to prison for such horrific crimes. Like, how do you navigate your life like that? Can you still love a person? That's the real question I want y'all to answer at the end of this video when I finish going through this is, can you still love a person in spite of their bad or their wrongdoings, no matter how horrific or bad those wrongdoings are? If I had a child that perhaps, unalive people, can I still love my child and not have the world judging me, thinking that by me loving my child, I have no concern for the victims that my child has impacted, or if I have a parent that is accused of some horrific things, if I still love my parent, does that in turn mean just because I'm still loving my parent that I could care less about what happened to all the victims that my parent impacted? It's a very rough road to navigate. I would not want to be in that position. It's a pretty devastating position to be in. So let's go ahead. Let me share a screen and we're going to get right into this R. Kelly story. So R. Kelly's daughter refuses to take her son to meet his grandfather in prison. He's a bad person. And let me ask this too. This is another question you can kind of answer at the end of this video. Are people redeemable? Can I have done maybe the most horrific crimes? And maybe once I'm sitting through and talking with a therapist and working my way through all the bad things that I have done, is there redemption at the end? Not necessarily mean you're going to get out of jail and perhaps release into society to see if you can or if you recovered, or are you going to do this thing again? But can I just become a different person and receive atonement, so to speak, through therapy, whatever else? Do you think people are redeemable and that there is a second chance for them to recover from the person that they was, right? So R. Kelly's daughter, Joanne Kelly, who appears in the upcoming documentary, R. Kelly's Karma, A Daughter's Journey, revealed she has no interest in introducing her future son to his grandfather. And my son asks questions, I'm going to be as truthful as possible, and I will not be taking my son to prison to meet his grandfather. Joanne, who appears to be pregnant in the clip, said in the documentary trailer released on Sunday. As far as her own relationship with her dad, the expected mom looked back on her childhood with her famous parent, 57, and admitted he was my everything. But shared they are no longer close after he was convicted in New York on racketeering and ST charges in September 2021. Um, my heart breaks for her in many ways. As parents, our responsibility is so high. Like, you have to protect your kids to the best of your ability. But just imagine that the man that helped you create your kids is the one that you needed to protect your kids from. It's just it's horrible. For a long time I didn't even know what to believe, what want to believe that it happened. And I'm sure that is the stage that Diddy kids are in right now. They just don't even want to believe this is happening. I think I probably would just go in protection mode and just black out and just pretend in my mind like this is not going on. I'm going to school. I'm going to continue working or whatever it is I'm doing. And I just would try to block out to the best of my ability the noise that is going on about my father if I was Sean Combs' kids, right? Nobody wants to be the child of the father that is out here hurting women and children. He knows exactly why we can't have the relationship that we would have liked to have had with him. I really feel like that 1 millisecond completely changed my whole life. Joanne continued, referring to her father's conviction. Looking like a good mix of Drea Kelly and R. Kelly in this particular picture. Okay. So R. Kelly is currently being held at the Metropolitan Correction Center in Chicago after he was sentenced to 30 years for racketeering and various S crimes. Sad. The 26-year-old's mother, who was married to the singer from 1996 to 2009, also spoke out in the documentary. Drea Kelly called out the disgraced music artist for not being a present father to their children. Well, Drea, I'm not going to get on Drea, but the thing is with Drea, you have to understand, if this man is just a monster, how do you really think he was going to be a present father to your kids? I don't know. Just because you're not a good husband doesn't mean you can't be a good father. Well, apparently, not only was R. Kelly not a good husband, he wasn't just a good person to a whole lot of people. So I don't think all of a sudden I don't know. It's a mess. Okay. He just wasn't a good person. And the fact that he didn't even try, Drea 50 said of her ex-husband, why did he come? Why, what he did to me, he did to me, but you didn't have to do it to my damn kids. We'll deal with Drea another time, right? The documentary will also feature appearances from Joann's siblings, including John Kelly and Robert Kelly Jr. Robert Kelly Jr., that's going to be a tough name to bear and carry, right? Because you got the name of a convicted sex offender, and that sex offender is your father. It's like, what do you do with that? Because anytime anybody Googles R. Kelly, even if they put the junior behind it, the Google searches are going to come up with your father and everything that he did. All these kids. In addition to Kelly's 30-year sentence, the Grammy winner was also convicted on 6 counts of child S crimes, with charges including producing child P and enticing a minor to engage in S activity. In February 2023, he was sentenced to 20 years in prison, 19 of which will be served along with his New York sentence. What they call that concurrently, I believe. I'm trying to get all these terms together now that we, with so many legal cases we're dealing with in trending topics. But R. Kelly was, he had to face trial in several different states, and he got sentenced and convicted in several different states, but they allowed some of his convictions to run concurrently. So for instance, if he got charged 20 years in New York and 20 years in Jersey, instead of them saying, he had to serve 40 years, they allowed the 20 years to be served concurrently, which in his case, it doesn't even matter, right? Because I want to say R. Kelly's in his 50s also. So you figure 20 years, you add that on the 50, whatever, and he's in his 70s. So that's your life. You're spending the rest of your life in prison. Yeah, R. Kelly's Karma, A Daughter's Journey premieres on October the 11th. So I'm gonna look for this network and watch this show. I have so many shows we have to watch and recap. I will watch this on October 11th and let you know my thoughts. Again, even though she's 26, my prayers go out to all of R. Kelly's children also. This is a tough cross to bear. Imagine having to navigate life, and on top of your navigating life, you have to deal with my dad is R. Kelly. Anyway, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts about this video in the comments. Chat with me. I'll chat back. Hit that like button, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.